Yo, what's up everybody? Welcome back to Eagles Nest News. And let me start by saying this, no matter where you are, no matter how you're watching, thank you for making this show a part of your day. Now buckle up, because we've got something wild to talk about. The Eagles might be catching a massive break right out of the gate in Week 1 of the upcoming NFL season. And guess who it's against? That's right, the Dallas freaking Cowboys. The game is gonna be here before you know it. Thursday Night Football, September 4th. Lincoln Financial Field, prime time, all eyes on Philly. Now let's just get this out of the way right now. F Dallas. Say it with me. F Dallas. If you've been riding with the Eagles for any length of time, you know how deep that rivalry runs. If you're like me and you can't stand the Cowboys, hit that like button, smash it, punch it, elbow drop it, whatever you gotta do, and get in the comments. I want to see a flood of F Dallas down there. Let's make this a movement, because the hate is real. It's generational, and it's justified. Let me take y'all back for a second. A couple months ago, I made a trip to Frisco, Texas. That's where the Cowboys have their fancy little practice facility, the Star. And listen, I'm not gonna lie, the place looks good. You've got restaurants, shops, this whole luxury setup built by Jerry Jones. Basically a shrine to mediocrity. Outside, they've got this turf field where fans take pictures. Kids run around, and they've even got memorials to past players. I saw that field, looked down, and there it was, the infamous Dallas Star logo. You already know what I did next. I had my Terrell Owens moment. Walked right up to that star and gave it the old shoe wipe. In my head, I'm thinking, this is for Philly. This is for Super Bowl 59. Go Birds. But let's move it back to business. Week 1. The Eagles kick off their title defense after going 14-3 last season and absolutely smashing the Super Bowl, one of the most dominant performances in championship history. Meanwhile, the Cowboys, they limped to a 7-10 record, dealt with injuries, had no consistency, and oh yeah, Mike McCarthy got the boot. No surprise there, the guy ran out of excuses and talent, so here we are, September 4th. South Philly, Eagles hoisting a Super Bowl banner in front of Jerry Jones and his sad, delusional fan base. That is poetic justice. And speaking of expectations, let's talk win totals. Odds makers are not high on Dallas this season. Their projected win total sits at 7.5. That's it. For the Birds, 11.5. And while Philly does have a brutal schedule early on, Dallas isn't exactly coasting either. But before we dive into the nitty-gritty, I asked this question at the start of the show. Could the Eagles actually get a break in Week 1? Let's lay out the facts and you tell me. Since 1998, the Cowboys have made the playoffs 12 times. In all those appearances, they've only managed to win 4 games, FOUR, and of those, just one was beyond the wild card round. They had 3 straight seasons with 12 wins in the regular season, 2021, 2022, and 2023, and all they got out of it was 1 measly postseason win. That's like showing up to prom 3 years in a row and going home alone every single time. Pathetic. In 2024, the hype was back, like it always is, Cowboys fans saying, this is our year, as they've done every season since 1995, and once again, they face-planted, 7-10. Injuries played a part, sure, but let's be real, even when Dak Prescott was healthy, they were garbage. He started 8 games and the Cowboys went 3-5. Dak threw 8 picks in those games and honestly, looked lost most of the time. And remember, he's coming into this season off a torn hamstring, so not only was he bad last year, he's also recovering from an injury. That's your franchise quarterback. They did go out and trade for George Pickens, which, I'll give them credit, decent move. They needed someone to take the pressure off CeeDee Lamb, but after those 2, the rest of the wide receiver group is just average at best. And don't get me started on that backfield. Last season, Dallas was one of the worst rushing teams in the entire league. Javonte Williams, bottom tier. Miles Sanders, fell off a cliff after leaving Philly, got paid in Carolina and then disappeared. That man couldn't find a hole if it was outlined in neon lights. On defense, it's more of the same. Over half their starters are returning from last year, you know? The same unit that couldn't stop a nosebleed when it mattered. And the offensive line, 4 out of 5 guys from last year are back. Which might sound good on paper, but they were terrible in 2024. You're bringing back a group that couldn't block a tweet, let alone a defensive front. Coaching. Even worse, McCarthy is out, and who did they bring in? Ryan Schottenheimer. Yep. The same guy who was the offensive coordinator last year, but didn't even call plays. And when he has called plays in the past, his offenses have been about as creative as a beige wall. He's one of the lowest paid head coaches in the league and easily one of the biggest question marks. Bottom 5, maybe bottom 10 in the league, and if Dallas crashes and burns again this year, he could be one and done, no question. So let's take a look at that schedule. You'd think after finishing third in the NFC East, Dallas might get a little relief, right? Wrong. Their schedule is ranked the 11th hardest in terms of projected win totals. And when you factor in efficiency, it jumps to 7th hardest in the entire league. That is not what you want when you're trying to bounce back from a losing season with a questionable roster and a rookie head coach. Warren Sharp did a deep dive on this in his preview book, and it's crazy stuff. He pointed out that from 2021 to 2023, under Dan Quinn, the Cowboys' defense thrived off turnovers. They were creating chaos and winning the turnover battle like clockwork. Over that stretch, Dallas led the league with plus 130 expected points added from turnovers. That was first by a mile. But here's the kicker. In the last 30 years, every single team that had 3 straight years with a plus 10 turnover margin saw a massive drop in year 4. Not one team kept the streak alive. The average drop, minus 10. And what did we see in 2024? Dallas lost the turnover battle in 9 games. They went 1-8 in those. That's the kind of stat that sinks seasons. Defensively, they haven't made any huge upgrades. They're pretty much rolling with the same group, but now with a new coordinator, Matt Eberflus. And I gotta tell you, going up against an Eagles offense returning 10 of 11 starters, that is not the time to be figuring out your defensive identity. Philly's offense is locked in. Continuity, chemistry, rhythm, it's all there. Meanwhile, Dallas is still installing the playbook. And on the other side of the ball, that Cowboys offensive line, as I said earlier, brings back 4 out of 5 guys who struggled badly last year. That means Philly's defensive line should feast, win in the trenches, win the game. That's how the Eagles are built, and Dallas is setting the table for a long night. Even when Dak was under center, the Cowboys were average to bad. Let's run through some of the numbers. 26th in yards before contact per rush, 8th in pressure rate allowed, 16th in pass block win rate, 15th in run block win rate, 28th in offensive holding penalties. And they were also 28th in false start penalties. Sloppy, undisciplined football all across the board. From weeks 1 through 9 last year, Dallas couldn't run the ball to save their lives. They ranked 30th in yards per carry with 3.8, 23rd in EPA per rush, 20th in success rate, 27th in yards after contact. And get this, 31st in explosive run rate. That means they were second to last in runs of over 15 yards. Half a season with 0 big plays on the ground. Meanwhile, Saquon Barkley was ripping off explosive runs left and right. But Dallas, nothing. Cowboys fans love to bring up Javonte Williams and say he was great in Denver early in his career. Yeah, okay. But let's look at the facts. Denver had the #1 run blocking offensive line last year, ranked first in win rate on both run and pass plays. Despite that, on all the advanced metrics, Javonte ranked near the bottom. He was 45th of 47 in rushing yards over expected, 46th in gaining more than expected, 3rd and 9th in burst speed, and dead last in yards after contact per rush. Dead last. That's your guy. That's the answer to a broken run game. And then there's the schedule. The Eagles start tough, no doubt. After Dallas in week 1, they get a mini bye. Then go up against Kansas City in a Super Bowl rematch. Then the Rams, then a road trip to Tampa, then back home against Denver, who have one of the best defensive lines and a defense that's no joke. So if Philly can start 1-0 against Dallas, that buys them a little breathing room. That's a huge opportunity. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest updates on our Philadelphia Eagles. And don't be shy, share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. In what could be one of the most surprising moves of the NFL offseason, rumors are swirling that Baker Mayfield is on the verge of signing a lucrative contract with the Philadelphia Eagles. Sources close to the situation suggest that the quarterback, once seen as a promising but inconsistent talent, may be about to secure a deal that would shake up the quarterback landscape in the league. Mayfield's career has been a roller coaster ride since entering the NFL as the first overall pick in the 2018 draft. while flashes of brilliance have often been overshadowed by questions about his consistency and fit within different offenses. The Eagles could be betting on his potential to bounce back and lead their offense. Philadelphia has been in the market for a reliable signal caller, and the idea of pairing Mayfield's mobility and competitive fire with the Eagles' talented receiving corps is generating buzz among fans and analysts alike. The reported contract would be a significant upgrade for Mayfield, reflecting not only the team's belief in his ability, but also the current market dynamics for quarterbacks. With the NFL experiencing a quarterback renaissance, teams are willing to invest heavily in players who can potentially elevate their offenses. While no official announcement has been made, insiders suggest that the Eagles' front office is moving swiftly to finalize the deal before other teams can intervene. This potential signing comes at a time when the Eagles are looking to build around a core of young stars and establish themselves as Super Bowl contenders. Mayfield's experience, combined with the team's offensive weapons and a strong offensive line, might provide the stability and leadership Philadelphia has been searching for. However, skeptics remain cautious, noting Mayfield's past struggles with injuries and consistency under pressure. If the deal goes through, it could have ripple effects throughout the league, forcing other teams to reconsider their quarterback situations and salary structures. The Eagles could find themselves with a high-profile quarterback who, if he returns to form, might transform their offense and help them climb the ranks in the highly competitive NFC East. While the rumor mill continues to churn, one thing is clear: the NFL offseason is heating up, and the possibility of Baker Mayfield landing in Philadelphia with a blockbuster contract is a storyline worth watching closely. Fans and analysts will be eager to see if this bold move materializes and what it could mean for the Eagles' championship aspiration moving forward. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Philadelphia Eagles, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.